So I wanted to show you a close-up of my beautiful purse, and I'm actually using this purse now, and I love it because the handle is slightly elastic, has a little spring to it, and the colors look gorgeous. I love this navy blue, sapphire blue with this satin colored yarn, and this is very sturdy on the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to make this sturdy bottom. So this one you can see is more of a rectangular style. And then, so I'm going to be showing this purse on video tutorial. And I had leftover yarn after I finished this one. So you're only going to need one skein of this satin fox yarn for this project. And you can see how I used it on the bottom, so it's very sturdy. And then I used some at the top, used it for the strap, and also for the straps that go on your shoulder. So you can see that little spring to it. And that's the quality of this yarn that I really like. And then with the leftover yarn, I cut it in half, and I was able to make this cute project bag. And I tied a knot on the end. I was going to use a different method. I was going to make straps for it, but I didn't have enough yarn. But I made a gorgeous bottom. So this bottom is really sturdy, and it helps to open up the bag. And I'm going to show you what I put inside. But I used every bit of my fox yarn, and I had fun with the strap too. And again, even though I cut it in half, you still have the elastic little spring to the yarn. And what I love about this method is you can just open it up, and I'm going to show you everything that was able to fit inside. But you could see how the knot that I have on the end will keep it from coming out, so it won't come out. And then you could just give it a slight tug, and then you have a handle and a way to close your bag, which I really love. So this method for this bag is the same. So I'm not going to show you how to make this bag on this video tutorial. It will be in the written pattern. But basically, for those of you that know how to make the circle, I put 3 single crochet into the magic circle and then made 2 single crochet for every round until I had the size that I was happy with. So I'll have this in the written pattern, but that's basically what I did. And I attached the yarn, and the design of the yarn is the exact same as for my purse. So you could, if you make this purse, you should be able to make this project bag as well. And then for the top of the bag, basically I just made a V-stitch. So the top of the bag, I didn't put the round of this style yarn because I didn't have enough. Otherwise I would have. But I didn't have enough to do that, so I used my regular yarn. Now if you like this design, I had 2 of them, and I love this cotton yarn. So I had 2 of these, and this is how much I have left over the second skein. So you could make the project bag even longer if you wanted to, but I used this yarn to make a V-stitch. So for those of you that don't know what a V-stitch is, it's basically a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet all the way around the top of this bag. And then I weaved through. This is basically just a chain, the same way I made the handle on the purse bag. So you could just make a chain. The reason why it's smaller is because I cut the leftover yarn in half so I would have enough to make another bag. So you can see that it's still very sturdy. This is the half where I cut it in half, and it still makes enough to make this adorable bag. So with this purse, this is the one that we're going to make on video tutorial, but I will include this pattern in the written pattern. And I'm just going to show you how much room you have inside. Again, I'm using this as my purse, so you can see. I'm also going to show in this video tutorial how to make this cute little flap wallet. So I'll be showing you how to make the curved end as well as the square side. So I talk a little bit more about that once we get started with the project. And then I just keep my keys in here, and I have a bag, because here in California we have to pay for our bags, so I don't, instead of paying for my bag, I just carry my little bag with me if I need one. And then I have my business card holder, and this one is made by Pastiche Accessories on Etsy. I love her work if you want to check out her site. I'm not an affiliate for her, but I just love her work, and I'm a frequent customer. So then in here, I like to keep my keys because it's easy access, and so I'm not digging around in my purse. And then you can see how you could fit a large wallet in here, my phone, hand sanitizer, some napkins, calendar. I'm still old-fashioned. I like to write down my calendar information, and Altoids. So yeah, see, you have plenty of room inside of this purse. I love it. And then you just have this little strap that closes around this gorgeous, this is a coconut button that I'm in love with. It goes really well with the satin fox yarn and the sapphire blue. And then I have my little free handle that comes with the yarn, Made with Love by Foxy Yarn, which adds a little nice designer touch to your purse. So now I just want to show you what's in my little bag. And like I said, this one, it can be a project bag or it could be a gift bag. So mine's going to be a gift bag. It's also great for traveling if you need a little travel bag. But here, this is my rabbit fillet, crochet fillet. So I have a separate video tutorial that shows how to make this one, and it shows a close-up of the work, and it has a little rabbit on it on the inside. And then I have my card. So I haven't finished filling it out completely, but on my website, www.helenmaycrochet.com, I have printouts where you can print out these cute little things for your cardstock. And then a neat little carrot cake recipe. And then you just write what you want on your Easter card. So that's my Easter card. And then also I have my lavender soap. So I have a crochet soap saver video tutorial on my YouTube channel. But this one I got from Summer Past Farms. They sell this soap online. I love it. It smells, I love the smell of lavender. And they give you a really nice sized soap bar. And this fits in my soap saver that I show you how to make on video tutorial. And then also I have my cute crochet kitchen towel topper. So you get your favorite Easter towel or kitchen towel that you want to gift. And this is my Life's a Hoot kitchen towel topper. I have a blog post for this as well as a YouTube video tutorial. And one of my recipes that I gave was for the vinegar, for dyeing your natural dye for your eggs. So this is on my blog post for the links that some of my kitchen items I put recipes in there, and that was for dyeing Easter eggs naturally. So you can see you get a lot of room in here, and the fox yarn just keeps it open. I really love the fox yarn, and this is my leftover yarn, so I was able to get off of one skein my beautiful designer purse as well as an adorable project bag. And then I love how simple it is to close it. You just yank on it, and then you have a little built-in strap too. Now with the strap, I experimented and used some of the yarn. I crocheted with the yarn and the fox yarn, and it turned out okay. If I were to do it again, I may even try like a ribbon. So crochet with the fox yarn and a ribbon to see how that turns out. I loved the crochet stitch so much that I've started a baby blanket with the same stitch. So you could make a baby blanket using the same stitch, and I'll be coming out with a YouTube video tutorial for it as well. This yarn is a lot of fun to work with. It's really soft and it's easy to work with too. So it's not like the pipsqueak yarn where you can't see the stitches, but it's so soft, and the stitch that I show you for making the purse and the project bag makes a gorgeous design for a baby blanket. if you like this one, again, I'm going to make a video tutorial for this one. I usually wait till I'm finished with the full blanket. But if you like the yarn and you think you want to go ahead and start making your own, I used Yarnspirations Bernat Velvet, and the color is Chilled Blue. And then there's a darker blue too that would go well with this, and I'm going to use that for the border. But like I said, I'm going to have a separate video tutorial for this one coming soon. And the crochet hook that I used with this one was my 6mm. If you go larger than that, you run the risk of getting the holes too big. So I found that with my 6mm, the holes were just right. They're not too big. And it's just turning out really gorgeous. So now let's get started making your Foxy Lady designer crochet purse. Thank you, Fox Yarn. I am not an affiliate for Fox Yarn. I'm not sponsored by Fox Yarn. Fox Yarn did send me a free skein of yarn to design something for them, and I'm really happy with how the design turned out, and I hope you are too. If you're going to use Fox Yarn, don't forget your discount code for 10% off. Just put in Helen May Crochet 2019. For this crochet project, you're going to need your 10mm crochet hook. And I actually wrote the millimeters on my crochet hook because it does have the letter N on here, but I've made the mistake before of going by letters, and it would actually have a different millimeter size. So I always like to say the millimeter, and now I just go by millimeter. So I actually wrote it on my crochet hook, so if that, you know, for those of you that have a similar type of crochet hook as this one. This crochet hook is by Yarnology. It's a luxury crochet hook. I like it because it has a soft, it's not very hard here. They put like a soft grip to hold it. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, and for the yarn that I'm using, you're going to need a larger eye. So I've got some plastic yarn needles by Boy, and this is what they look like. So you only need one, but this one came in a pack of 2. So the yarn that I'm using is, look at the adorable little fox. This is from foxyarn.com, and you actually get a lot. From the picture it looks kind of small, but you actually get, let's see if they have the amount. Let me see if I could find the amount. I don't see the amount, but here's their website, and the color that I'm using is Satin Tan. This yarn is made from recycled factory offcuts, so it's also useful for macrame too, but I'm going to be using it to make a purse. But like I said, you get a lot of it. So we'll find out how much I can use and how many products I can make with this one skein. So for those of you that would like to get this yarn as well, you get a discount. So if you want a 10% off discount, just use the special code Helen May Crochet 2019 to get your 10% off. I didn't know this, but it comes with a little label too, with a cute little fox, and it says made with love. So I'm probably going to use this label on mine that comes with the yarn. You can use the cute little fox that comes with the yarn too in children's crafts. You're also going to need your 6.5mm crochet hook. And for my alternate color, I used Impeccable yarn. Here's some information about this yarn. And it also has a free pattern included with this one. And the color that I'm using is navy blue. It's a really beautiful, darker navy blue, sapphire color, which is one of my favorite colors. And this is some more information about this yarn. You're also going to need a regular tapestry needle with the smaller eye and a point on the end. You also need a wooden button. This one is a coconut button from Le Bouton, and it's 1.5 inches, 38 millimeters. If you want to use the same one, buttonlovers.com. So we're going to start with a chain, and you want to make sure that you have a long enough loose yarn end for burying into your work, and then just form a loop, and then take your crochet hook, go right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb, and then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for a slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that knot down around your crochet hook, and then we're going to make a chain. We're going to make a chain the length that you want, or actually the width that you want your purse to be. So you're just going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and make the chain the length that you want your purse. So mine is a chain of 19. And it measures approximately 10 inches long. So now you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So go into that second chain, and then you're going to bring up a loop, and then you're going to make a single crochet. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet. Let me see if I'm going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So when you reach the last stitch, come back, and then I'll work the last stitch with you. Make sure you pull up the full loop. So 1 single crochet in every stitch until you reach the last stitch, and then come back. So now I've reached the end. This is how my work looks. Don't worry if it curls up, because as we work, it'll lay it flatter. So right now, this is how mine looks, and I've reached the last stitch. Now in the last stitch, you're going to want to place 3 single crochet into that end stitch. So there's 1. And then you're going to be turning it as you crochet to work on the opposite side. And I'm going to bury this loose yarn end that we started with as I crochet. So there's my second. And my third. So now I'm going to pull on that loose yarn end, kind of pull that knot through, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch over, and I'm going to go behind the loose yarn end and bring up a loop and make a single crochet. So I'm going to be burying that loose yarn end as I crochet. So I'm just going to give it a gentle tug. And then you're going to be making single crochets on the opposite side. So this is the way that we went down, and then we're going to turn the corner and work on the opposite side. And this is how my work looks. You can see the stitches that we just made, beautiful stitches. So again, like I said, it does curl up, but you can kind of hold that down with your forearm as you crochet. It works up really fast. I love it. And this crochet hook, the larger crochet hook, makes it easier to deal with this yarn. Oops, I grabbed the loose yarn end. So I want to go behind the loose yarn end and bury it as I crochet. So I'm going into my next stitch, going behind the loose yarn end, bringing up a loop, and making a single crochet. And then you're going to repeat that all the way down, just making one single crochet in every stitch back to where you started. And when you get to the front stitch, for the last stitch, come back and I'll work those last 3 single crochet in the last stitch with you to complete our first round. So now this is what my work looks like, and I've finished 36 stitches and I have 1 stitch left. So in that last stitch I'm going to make 3 single crochet. I'm getting that, there we go. So there's 1. 2, and the last one in the same stitch, and then that'll end the first round with 39 total stitches. And now you just need a yarn marker. So I'm just going to use one of my scraps of yarn as a yarn marker. It's turning out really beautiful. So now that completed your first round. And this is going to be the bottom of the purse. We're going to make 1 increase round for the second round. And I like to use a scrap of yarn as a yarn marker. So I'm going to place, and this one I'm leaving fairly large because of the bulky yarn that I'm working with. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 18 stitches. So I'm going to go into that first stitch and then bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and then I'm going to make 1 single crochet into the next 18 stitches, which will bring you to the opposite end. And when you reach the opposite end, come back, and then I'll work the opposite end with you to increase the number of stitches. We're only going to increase the number of stitches for this round by 2. So it's still curling up, but don't worry, as we progress, it'll get easier to work with. So go ahead, finish making 1 single crochet in each stitch until you reach the opposite end. And then I'm kind of holding my crochet hook like this. And be gentle with your wrist. Don't apply too much pressure, just work slowly and slowly maneuver the hook through. And then you may need some frequent rests if you do notice any discomfort, but I'm not feeling any discomfort as I'm crocheting. So go ahead, finish the 1 single crochet into 18 stitches until you get to the opposite side, and then come back. So now that brings you to the opposite side, and you're going to place 2 single crochet into that end stitch. So you just go into that end stitch and then bring up a loop, trying to get the curl down. There we go. I'll just let it curl there. And then I'm going to make one more into the same stitch. And then that will increase this round stitch count by 2. I mean, actually 1 on this side, and you're going to do the same thing in the last stitch. So you put 1 extra stitch on the end over here. So 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to go into the next stitch on the opposite side, and you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch until you reach the last stitch. And in the last stitch, we're going to place 2 single crochet. So the last stitch right before the yarn marker. And then you're going to flip your work. So you want to flip it like this. And then we're going to start working on the sides after this round. So you can kind of mold it, kind of flip it. And then just continue making 1 single crochet in every stitch until the last stitch, and then come back. So now I'm at the last stitch, so I'm going to go ahead and make 2 single crochet into the last stitch. And I was going to do double crochet, but I think I like the single crochet better because the double crochet may make larger gaps. If you don't mind the larger gaps, you can make a double crochet if you want to, but I'm going to be working mine into a single crochet. And also your loose yarn end, if you notice that you have a little bit of a loose yarn end still remaining, you can take and trim that. Then you're just going to get your yarn marker and you're going to place it right where you left off, and we're going to start the 3rd round. So now you're going to be maintaining your stitch count, and you're also going to be turning your work the way that you want facing. So the wrong side will be on the inside, and then the right side will be the one that you want showing. And then you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So you're maintaining your stitch count. So you don't want to increase your stitch count in the round, and you don't want to decrease it. You want to maintain the size. That way your bag will stay this size for the whole bag. So go ahead and continue making 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So now I want you to go ahead and finish making 4 rounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. And this is how your work should look. So it's really sturdy. I really love how it turned out. And this is what it looks like on the inside. And here's the thickness of it. So then you can take and remove your yarn marker, and then just take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over, and then you're going to make a slip stitch. So you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then we're going to join our new yarn. So I'm going to take and bring my alternate colored yarn that I want for my purse. I'm going to bring the yarn through, and then go ahead and chain 1. Make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end for burying into your work, and then just cinch the knot down. I'm going to bring my new crochet hook in, And then I'm going to cinch down the other loop, the bigger loop. And then I'm going to tie a knot with the 2 loose yarn ends. And then you want to make sure that I'm going to tie a knot with the other yarn strand so I don't make too large of a knot. Then I'm going to take and cut the previous yarn. Now make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end. So I'm going to leave a pretty good amount loose yarn end so I can bury it as I crochet. Actually, I'm going to bury it with my tapestry needle. So I'm going to go ahead and bury that now. So you're just going to take the yarn, put it through your tapestry needle so you can see how the larger eye makes it much easier. And then I'm just going to take on the wrong side, I'm just going to take and weave my work through. So I'm going to move my other yarn. I don't want to lose my my loop, so I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to take and go into the next stitch. I'm just going to grab the front loop only. So you can see that with the stitch created with the other yarn, you have the front loop and then you have the back loop. So we're going to go through the front loop only. So you're going to go right down the center of the stitch in the front loop only. And then I'm going to bring up a loop. And then I'm going to make a single crochet. And then that will help me hold my loop. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of a loop. And then I'm going to go back towards the wrong side with my tapestry needle. And then I'm just going to go and weave it through. Be careful you don't break your plastic needle if you're using the plastic needle. And I'm just going to take and weave. Just pull it snug on the wrong side. And you're just going to kind of weave it through the wrong side of your work with your plastic needle. See how it works really nicely. And I'm just going through one strand at a time. And you want to make sure it's nice and buried. You don't want it to come undone, and you want it to be you want it to look nice, and you don't want it to come undone after you crochet it, all that hard work that you put into it. So that's all I do. Go ahead and weave it through, and you may even want to come back too. And what I mean by that is come back on yourself. See if I can get under the strand there. There we go. So you can see how I backtrack a little bit to kind of loop it the other direction. So now my loose yarn end is buried. You can't even see it. And then you'll bury your other loose yarn end later. For now, you're just going to go back to your alternate colored yarn. And you're going to place 3 single crochet into the same space. So there's 2. And there's 3. And then I'm going to go into the next front loop. See how I'm going through the front loop only. I'm going to bring up a loop and then make a single crochet. And you're going to make 3 single crochet into the same stitch. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. So now I'm going to make one more with you so you can see the next stitch. Here's the front loop, here's the back loop. Take my crochet hook, come up from underneath, right down the center of that front loop only, bring up a loop for a single crochet, and then you're going to make 3 single crochet into the same stitch. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, back to where you started. And then come back. So now, after you finish making the 3 single crochet into each of the front loop stitches of the previous row, you're going to make a slip stitch into that first single crochet that you made. So just yarn over and then pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. And then we're ready to start the next row. So now you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to make one more double crochet into the same stitch. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to single crochet into the next chain. So now you're going to chain 2 again. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. Then you're going to make a treble crochet into that next stitch. So you yarn over twice. And then you're going to go skip 2 and then make a treble crochet into the next stitch. So now I have 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over and go through 2. And then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So you yarn over, go into the same stitch, make a double crochet. So you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to make 1 more double crochet into the same stitch. And that's the pattern that we're going to repeat. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So in the 4th stitch. Then you're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2. You're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then you're going to treble into the next stitch. So yarn over twice, skip 2 stitches, go into the next stitch to complete a treble crochet. So you yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to make 2 more double crochet into the same stitch. And what we're creating are staggered shells for the design for the top portion of this purse. So the design's not complete yet. This is just the first row of the design. And you're just going to keep repeating. I'm going to keep repeating a couple of them with you so you get the pattern and you're able to repeat it on your own. So you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip 3 stitches and then single crochet into the 4th stitch. Then you're going to chain 2 again. You're going to skip 2 stitches. You're going to make a treble crochet into the 3rd stitch. And then you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So I'm going to repeat one more set with you, and then I'll let you finish the rest on your own back to where we started. So you're going to chain 2, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet into that 4th. Chain 2 again, skip 2, and then treble into the 3rd, so a treble stitch into the 3rd stitch. And then 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to where you started, and then come back. Just show you what it looks like so far. Again, this is just the first part of the design. Now, when you get back to where you started, go ahead and make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook to join the round. Now we're going to move up to the next design pattern. So you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this counts as a treble crochet for the next round. And then you're going to make 2 double crochet into that first single crochet in the previous round. So you just yarn over, go into that single crochet space, and then make a double crochet. And then you're going to make 1 more double crochet into the same space. Okay, so now you made 2 double crochet in the previous row's single crochet space. You're going to skip the next chain 2 space after you make a chain of 2. So go ahead and chain 2. 1, 2. You're going to skip the next chain 2 space, and you're going to make a single crochet into the next chain 2 space. So skip this first chain 2 space and then make a single crochet into the next chain 2 space. Then you're going to chain 2 again. 1, 2. And then you're going to make a treble and 2 double crochet into the single crochet space from the previous round. So yarn over twice, make a treble crochet into that single crochet space from the previous round. And then you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And then you're just going to repeat that pattern. So you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. You're going to skip the first chain 2 space and make a single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Then you're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and then you're going to make a treble and 2 double crochet into the single crochet space from the previous round. So yarn over twice, go into that single crochet space, make your treble crochet, and then 2 double crochet into the same space. And then this is how your work will look. So you're going to chain 2 again. And then you're going to skip the first chain 2 space, make a single crochet into the next chain 2 space, chain 2, and then in that previous round's single crochet, you're going to make a treble stitch, and then you're going to make 2 double crochet. And you're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around until you get back to the first chain 4 that we made, and then come back. So here's the first chain 4, and this is what our pattern is looking like. So now I'm back to where I started. Here's my chain 4, and it's looking really good with the staggered shells. So you're just going to, after I finished my single crochet into that second chain 2 space, I'm going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and then I'm just going to slip stitch into the top stitch of the chain 4 that I made, and then I'm going to chain 4 again, for the next round. So now after you make your chain 4, you're going to make 2 double crochet into the previous rows, 2 double crochet, so right in between. Just go right in between the 2 double crochet from the previous row and make 2 double crochet. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you'll have your first single crochet. So you're going to make a treble crochet into that first single crochet from the previous round. And then you're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip the first chain 2 space from the previous round, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the second space, chain 2 space. Then you're going to chain 2 again, and then you're going to make a treble and 2 double crochet into the single crochet space. So you can see how we're repeating the same pattern for each row, and when you make your treble crochet and then 2 double crochet into the same single crochet space from the previous round, you're completing your shell. And then you can see how your shells are going to be staggered. So here are the shells here, then it's here, then it's here. And that's the staggered shell pattern. So then I'm just going to make a couple more so you see the pattern. So you're going to chain 2, skip the chain 2 space, make a single crochet into the second chain 2 space, chain 2, and then you have the single crochet from the previous round that you're going to make a treble crochet into, and then 2 double crochet into the same stitch to complete the shell. So go ahead, finish repeating this pattern all the way around back to our first chain 4. So again, you're going to chain 2, skip the chain 2 space, single crochet into the next chain 2 space, and then chain 2 and repeat. So go ahead, finish making your staggered shell pattern. So now you're back to where you started, and this portion where you make your V, the double crochet V, will be towards the back of the purse. And you're always going to join the same way. So I finished my chain 2, and now I'm going to make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 4 that I made. And then I'm going to chain 4 again for the next round. And then I'm going to repeat the same way. So I'm always starting the row the same way. So I'm going to make a double crochet into the middle of the previous round's 2 double crochet. I'm going to make 2 of them in the same stitch. Then you can chain 2. And you're always going to, depending on whether you have your single crochet, you're going to start with your treble and 2 double crochet. But since I don't have a single crochet there, I'm going to skip the chain 2 space and make a single crochet into the next chain 2 space. Then chain 2 again, and then now I'm at my single crochet. So you always want to put your shell into the single crochet. So it's going to alternate or stagger. Remember that your shell will be here, then here, then here, and then so on. So make sure that it's staggering like it's supposed to, and that you always put your treble crochet and 2 double crochet stitches into the previous round's single crochet stitch. So now you just keep repeating the staggered shells until you have the length that you want for your purse, as well as being able to tuck it into the inside of your purse too. So when you come back, I'll show you how long mine is, or how many rounds I needed to do that for mine. So now you can see the beautiful design that's created, the staggered shells, and I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 rounds. And then what you're going to do is, after you finish your 14th round, or however many rounds that you want for your bag, you're just going to take and we're going to finish off. After you make your slip stitch, then you're just going to finish off, just yarn over, and then just pull enough yarn through to sew the bottom, or sew the top of this to the inside of the purse. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring a lot through. And then you could fold it down. So you want to fold it down halfway. So count up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then just fold it down. And then you're going to get, you can use your regular tapestry needle for this. Then you just get the yarn onto your tapestry needle, or the same colored yarn. And then you're going to line it up on the inside. So you can use safety pins too if you want to line it up all around. So I'm going to place some safety pins on mine. So now I have my safety pins in place. I just put them on the outside, and that's just to hold it in place as you sew. And you're just going to take the inside and you're going to take and sew to the 3 single crochet that you used to attach the top portion to the bottom portion yarn. You just take your tapestry needle and just go through and sew. The top part down. And you're going to do this all the way around. And then come back. So you just take and go in and out, just sewing this bottom part to the folded top portion. Securing the top portion down, folded down.